Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the opening bell. I'm Ashley Reeve here. It's good to be with you. It's the 22nd of May, and we're going to kickstart our opening bell this morning. It's exactly 9 a.m. To everyone joining us for the very first time, if you are here, welcome. Please remember the information we discuss in this video is opinion and should not be construed as advice in any way. And so let's then get somewhere here this morning. We really happy to be here. We've officially reached the end of another trading week. And what a week it's been. This week reminded us, of something important, that markets move on pressure, expectation, fear, and opportunity. And all four were present this week, actually. We had, a global theme this week. We had a lot of inflation. The market spent the entire week wrestling between inflation fears, geopolitical tension, and a lot of hope for stability. And every major asset class reacted to that battle. And what's important for us here is to maybe just go through some of these assets quickly to see how we're ending off. We know that we started off with a stronger dollar, and it actually came through. We might still see a little bit more of that actually coming through here, yeah? So let's maybe look at it. The Japanese yen here's the USD JPY, continued weakening this week, trading near the massive psychological level of 160. That's important because historically the yen gets too weak, and when it does, Tokyo steps in aggressively. And so let's maybe ask, why did the yen weaken? Well, Japan's inflation slowed again. That reduced pressure on the Bank of Japan to raise interest rates quickly. In simple terms, low inflation, slower tightening, and weaker currency. But here's the catch. Oil prices remain elevated. Here's the oil price. And because of the Middle East tensions, and Japan imports most of its energy. So the market is really asking here, can Japan really afford a weak currency much longer? That question alone could create volatility next week. All right, so here we are. The oil price sitting at a interesting place. We're sitting at a short-term consolidated area. If we do break forth from there, we could be pushing up very nicely here to the 105 area. So we'll see what happens. We also know the natural gas had an interesting week. Prices dropped to below $3 after storage data showed America has more gas supply than expected. So that's an interesting one. Perhaps maybe just to go into the dollar, let's go and look at the Euro USD here. The dollar stayed strong this week. We see it's actually looks like it's coming through again now this morning. And so markets right now, we still see the dollar as the safest place during global instability. And the Federal Reserve minutes added fuel to the move. And even though markets still expect rates to stay unchanged for now, the Fed made it very clear. So if inflation stays sticky, rate hikes are still possible, and that matters because the market had become very comfortable assuming cuts and easier conditions. And so this week then reminds us then the Fed is not fully done fighting inflation. And you can see here the prices from a more short-term time frame perspective, we're really just pushing down here. We've not really gone anywhere. If anything, we are in yesterday's range. This was the highs of yesterday. This was yesterday's lows. We're still in there, all right? We've not moved out from there yet. So we essentially, if we're going to say the dollar is going to strengthen against the euro today, what we'll need to see is for the dollar to actually break past yesterday's lows. And I think that's going to be an important one for us to go down to the next one, 1.15. If not, we could be seeing some upside here. I did see some pressure during the intraday on the US dollar index. So watch out for that one today. All right. I see Sammy's there. King, good to see you. Good to see you. And then guys, let's go to gold now, because the same, pattern we see in Euro USD, you can see it in AUD USD, you can see it in GBP USD. It's in all the major pairs. The dollar seems to be this morning strengthening, but it's in yesterday's lows and highs. All right, you can see it. This is NZD USD. We had a high yesterday, we had a low right there, and price is still in between. So even although it looks like it's strengthening, please don't be fooled by that, traders. We need to see significant movement away from yesterday's consolidation there. Then we're going to start to see some great movement. Okay, Let's go to the gold price now for all the gold diggers. Gold spent the week hovering in these areas, as you can see, 4,500. It's not exploding higher. It's not collapsing either. Traders might ask why. Well, because gold is currently trapped between two forces at this point. There's fear as a force, one, and two, higher interest rate expectations. If geopolitical tensions rise, gold will benefit, all right? If the dollar strengthens and rates stay high, gold struggles. So gold traders are trading headlines almost hour by hour right now. That's why I have the hour frame on, so you can see the traction. And next week could easily bring, explosive movement, depending on the Middle East development. So here's the big lesson then for us next week, all right? This week proved that every trader must remember the market does not reward emotion, guys. It rewards positioning, patience, and preparation. And so there were fake moves, there were sharp reversals, there were emotional headlines, and there were volatility spikes. Absolutely, all right? And if you go to the different assets, you'll see them. But what we're watching for next week is U.S.-Iran negotiations. Any breakthrough or breakdown could move. So oil, gold, currencies, and equities instantly. Hear my words there, instantly. Kiaboka, there's the gold right there. We're still hovering, okay? We need it to break. And then the second thing we were looking out for next week is inflation expectations. The market is obsessed with one thing. Will inflation stay elevated? And thirdly, then the central banks, especially the Federal Reserve and the Bank of Japan. And lastly, here, the energy prices. Energy is becoming one of the biggest market drivers globally again. So we're watching for those four things next week. And then obviously, guys, don't forget, it's the Finance Magnates Summit 2026. That's FMAS for short. TD Markets will be there. If you are in Cape Town or if you're able to come, please join us. We're at booth 9. And we will be there to shake a hand, have a chat. That's what it's about in the financial markets. It's not only about money, it's about the talk, it's the language, it's the conversations that happen for money to move. So if you're able to make it to Cape Town next week, guys, that's Monday to Wednesday, join us at the FMAS conference 2026. All right. And then obviously for the guys that have not opened an account with us, there's our website, www.tdmarkets.com. If you're in help or in need of any support, service, care@tdmarkets.com is the email address, or at least the channel you're going to be using to get a hold of our super support team. All right. So this week, to loop it, back together, the dollar is a little bit strong still this morning, but we'll see how it develops during the day, and then obviously later on when the London and the New York open, or the pre-open, and then obviously post-open as well, how that brings reaction to the strength of the dollar today. All right. Everything's still really hovering at this point in time. We'll see how it develops and progresses. But that's it from me this morning with the opening bell, closing off a great week. And we'll see you guys next week. All right. Opening bell will resume on Thursday and Friday. But Monday through to Wednesday there's going to be a bit of a delay on it because of the FMAS conference. But we will resume that on Thursday and Friday. We're looking forward to seeing some of you guys there, and obviously the others. We'll see you guys in our other respective channels, our mediums, our classes, as well as Trading Room next week, Thursday, and then obviously Friday for our sessions as well. All right, have a good one. Have a good weekend. Stay warm. We definitely in winter now. Things are really chilly in the evenings, yeah? That's it from me this morning. That's the opening bell. We'll see you guys very soon. Ciao, ciao.